Greetings, candidates, and welcome to the lesson. The subject is governance and compliance audit. We're still on the topic conducting governance and compliance audit. We are learning how to conduct a governance and compliance audit. In our today's lesson, our focus is on governance and compliance audit tools. In conducting a governance and compliance audit, there are tools that the auditor uses. And in the modern audit environment, tools are no longer just calculators or checklists and such outdated things. Today, tools are integrated systems that allow auditors to gather evidence, to analyze risk, and also report findings with a high degree of accuracy and speed. So the tools that we use today must be capable of handling diverse data sets, diverse data types, and also ensuring that evidence is tamper-proof. Because in our modern era, candidates, data is in different forms. We have data in video format, data in form of text, data in form of audio. We have data on social media, data on websites, and other platforms. Modern audit environment, we have tools that are integrated, and with the use of technology, candidates, data now is processed at very high speed and a high level of accuracy. So now, in analyzing these tools, you are going to group the tools in 4 categories. The first category is governance and management tools. Then we have the compliance and risk tools, what we call the GRC platforms. GRC stands for governance, risk, and compliance. We have the governance, risk, and compliance software. The third category of tools that we are going to analyze in today's lesson is the data analytics and execution. We have data analytics and execution tools. Then lastly, there is the evidence and communication tools. So let's begin with the governance and management tools. Number 1, governance and management tools. Governance and management tools. Now, governance and management tools focus on the structural side of an audit. These are tools that ensure that the board and the executive leadership are functioning according to their charters. That's why we have the term here, management. It is the board that is charged with the governance roles. Then there is a management. This is the board of directors and the executive leadership. So these are what we are calling the tools that focus on the structural side of the audit. For example, we have board charters. The board should have a digital portal. Okay, these are platforms that are used to audit board activities. They provide trail of board papers, attendance records, voting history, and evidence that directors received sensitive information in a timely manner. A good example is a portal known as Diligent. E.g., this is an example of a board portal, Diligent. There are quite many. We have others like Azeus, Convene, tool like Convene, Azeus, and so on. Or Portal is a governance and management tool. Then there is the entity management software, entity management software, entity management software. This is a tool that is essential for group audits. And it is a tool that is used to track subsidiary details, such as local directorship, details such as shareholding structures, and statutory filing deadlines across different countries. Entity management software is used for a group of companies. 3, we have another type of a tool known as policy management systems. Just as the name suggests, candidates say policy management systems. These are tools that track the life cycle of a policy. Right from the development of the policy, right from the initiation, right from drafting the policy to the approval, from drafting and approval to employee acknowledgement and also version. So candidates, you are discussing the governance and compliance audit tools. So the first category is the governance and management tools. The second category of tools you can have is compliance and risk tools. Compliance and risk tools. Compliance and risk tools. This refers to the software which is the backbone of the audit process, like the compliance dashboards, compliance dashboards provide a real-time view of compliance status across the organization. Regulatory intelligence feeds. Regulatory intelligence feeds, on the other hand, automatically alerts the audit team to changes in laws, like changes in tax laws or changes in data protection or privacy regulations, so that the audit criteria remain current. Regulatory intelligence alerts the audit team of any changes in regulations automatically. It doesn't have to go check the regulations in government printers or visit the website for the Law Society or other sources. No, this is software that helps to track any changes in laws. Then there is risk registers. Risk registers, these are digital logs where risks are identified, they are scored, and linked to specific controls. Identified, scored means graded. You first identify the risks. The software then grades the risks. Then it links the risk to specific controls. So these are 3 types of compliance and risk tools. Then the third category of governance and compliance tools, number 3, is what we call the data analytics and execution tools. Data analytics and execution data analytics, and execution tools. Data analytics and execution tools are used during field work. As you recall, candidates, governance and compliance audit has four key phases. One is planning and risk assessment. Number two is the field work or execution phase. Number three is the phase known as reporting and communication. Then number four is follow-up. So during the execution phase, the tools that are used are known as data analytics and execution. They are used during the execution phase to test the operating effectiveness of controls. And one such tool is a generalized audit software. One, generalized audit software. These are tools that allows auditors to import massive amounts of data from the ERP, okay, and then run tests for duplicates, or it can run tests to check any gaps in sequences, or to test if there are any unauthorized transactions. Generalized audit software. Then there is the visual analytics. Visual analytics. Visual analytics. You have the Power BI, the Tableau, for example, which are used to transform dry audit data into interactive maps and charts that make it clearer for the audit committee to see where the problems are. Visual, from the word visual, we have these tools that can convert data into diagrams, charts for easy understanding, and also to check if there are any trends in data. E.g., Power BI. Okay? Visual analytics. Another tool is process mining tools. We have process mining tools. Process mining tools. These tools reconstruct how a process like procurement actually happened by looking at the digital footprints in the system, revealing where people are bypassing controls, called process mining tools. They reconstruct how a process actually happened by looking at digital footprints in the system, which then reveals where people are doing what? Bypassing controls. So this is what is done in the field. When executing an audit, you can use the process mining tools. Then lastly, candidates, the last phase is called communication. There is evidence and communication tools. Evidence and communication tools. Evidence and communication tools. Like we have electronic working papers. Electronic working papers. One, electronic working papers. Instead of having the physical working papers in files, you may also have electronic working papers like Teammate, e.g., software like Teammate, We have software like Workiva. These are electronic working papers. These papers replace the physical folders. These electronic papers allow the audit team to document their tests, to attach evidence, and have their work reviewed and signed off digitally. That is one type of communication, evidence and communication tools. The second type or tool is whistleblowing or ethical hotlines. We have whistleblowing or ethics hotlines. Another category, another example of evidence and communication. These are secure third-party platforms that provide the audit team with the data on reported grievances and the organization's response time. Whistleblowing and or ethics hotline. Then lastly, the last type of evidence and communication tools is what we call survey and attestation tools. Survey and attestation tools. Survey and attestation tools that are used, these are tools that are used to send out internal control questionnaires to hundreds of employees at once. The purpose here is to gauge the compliance culture of the organization. You understand? It is sent once. Instead of distributing questionnaires one by one to employees, here you just use a software to send all these questionnaires, the internal control questionnaires, once to hundreds of employees. So that's all, candidates, for today's lesson on governance and compliance tools. These tools we presented them in categories, okay? Because we've said that in a modern audit environment, tools are no longer physical things like calculators and checklists. No, these are integrated systems that allow auditors to gather evidence, to analyze risk and report findings digitally with a high level of accuracy and speed. So the first category is governance and management. Governance, this is a tool for the board of directors, like the board portals. Management tools is a tool like the entity management software and policy management. These two are management tools. The first one is governance tool. The second category is compliance and risk tools. For example, you have the compliance dashboards, regulatory intelligence feeds, and risk registers. Number 3, data analytics and execution tools. These are tools that the auditor use when they get to the execution phase, the field work. Like the generalized audit software, we have the visual analytics and, for example, Power BI. There is a process mining tools. Then lastly, we've analyzed the evidence and communication tools such as electronic working papers, whistleblowing, hotlines. Then there is the survey and attestation tools. So thank you for attending the lesson. God bless you. Bye-bye.